Hey there, Hollywood fans. Welcome to this week's show. So as you can see on social media, I have been super duper busy. The last couple of weeks have been wild, swinging off the back. We wrapped up round number 3 of the FJs. Then we went straight into GXCC out at Radium. A totally different look, feel, and flavor of Radium. But without further ado, this was Radium, round number 3 of the GXCCs. This was a banger.
All this GXCC racing action is proudly brought to you by VW Mastercars Hatfield in association with Vans Racing. It's GXCC time once again as we head to round number 3 of the 2025 championship, the classic race venue of Radium, the big sand pit, this time slightly moist though, out the back door of Bella Bella.
Out at the third round of the GXCC's Radium, but a very different flavor of Radium. Normally we're out here, it's Dust Bowl Racing, different flavor today.
Yeah, Matt, look, we were hopeful for the rain to stay away, but on Wednesday evening it opened up and we got a total of 30 mils through the night and another 10 mil the next day. But you know what, as you saw yesterday, it's moist out there, a few puddles standing around, but it's not going to be a situation of getting stuck today.
Before the morning race, we chatted to the juniors and the quaddies.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to get a good start. It's not going to be dust, but I think in the first couple of laps, the mud, if there's mud, it's going to be just soggy, just going to choose my lines. Yeah, I think the whole shot's going to be key just to get first in the track and get all the good lines. And the championship, I'm not doing that good, but it's my first year, so I'm just trying to be consistent and just having fun.
Sparky, I can see you're heading to the gate, getting yourself ready. I know you've had the injury. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm stressing a little bit of this race. I haven't seen the bike for 2 weeks after the last Nationals. I think it's going to be not a very muddy race, but I think it's going to be a good race.
It seems like every time I see you, you're getting bigger. What are you doing with the setup changes on the bike?
No, we're just keeping it like always. I don't think I'm going to last the whole year on the 85. I'm getting too long, but I think it's good. Today's going to be a lacquer race.
T, you're obviously dialed in for Radium because you've been playing in the sand the last couple of weeks, eh?
Yes. Morning. It's nice to be back here. Talking about the sand, last week I was in Botswana, so I think the body is already warmed up for it and I know what's coming. As far as I know at Radium, it always gets choppy after about lap 3, lap 4. So got the perfect tyres on my quad, ready for it.
Tell me about the setup, because I want to know about the tires, because this is like 3 different kinds of terrain. You got a little bit of water, a little bit of sand, a little bit of greasy stuff, so it's very hard to set up for this one.
Yeah, it is. As far as I know, with last weekend's race, we tested normal tires, and then look, I love the skinnies. So I run the skinnies at the back with mud, water, sand. They just track, and they've got a lot of grip for me. So that's the best setup for me at the moment, and hopefully it works today.
Good reactions coming in from our juniors and our quaddies, and a brand new lineup for the start queue. No maze this time. The guys are going to be ripping out of the whole shot queue. A sweep right, and then a 360 around the big pivot. A new feature here at round 3 of the GXCCs. For the Q1s, the whole shot superstar that is Tiaan Wolfhard once again gets the cheese and runs off the front. He would be the first rider to understand the grip levels out in the new big track. The Q2s, small entries this time around, but it was going to be Rian Dick back on bike number 1 once again that would lead things out in the open category. For the Quad Masters, Big Steph Bester knows this terrain like the back of his hand, and he'll have been getting comfortable and excited going out into the big sandpit. For the veterans, we threw a lady into the mix there as well. Sias Blicknot would lead on the 4x4s, with Danielle Esterhazen, our single lady, going out onto the course. Then, onto the start queue for the juniors. The Mad Kids would run the numbers out there. The first big hole shot coming in for the 107 of Takang Marahi. Looking good in this season's championship as well, with Hiya Kutsia on his wheel. Junior 85s, the machine rocket ship on the whole shot as always. Jean-Luc van der Westhuizen sees clear air, and on the 65s, Kellen van Deventer and Seb Nell with the big swingers on the 65 Pro Gate. For the 50cc's, good numbers coming in here once again, and everyone trying to do the chase down on Milan Roux, the big kid on the gate. We chatted to Vian in the morning to talk about the tracks.
In my opinion, this is actually perfect Radium racing because the grass has come through on the sand and there is so much hook out there. Take us through the morning session. Let's start with the juniors.
Junior loop, we had to make a few changes. So initially we said it's going to be a 16.5. It's now a 14.5. We had to cut out a section to move the pits and to everything to link in. Their track is tight and twisty through the bush. Some pivots that they go around. A very short sand section just to give them a bit of a flavor of what they can expect one day when they move over to the seniors. But other than that, yeah, such a nice flowing route for them.
For the juniors then, a shorter, slightly foreshortened version of the track for them. But certainly going to be a test of the metal, especially in some of the muddy sections for the 50cc Warriors. DJ Blum got 1 lap under his belt, as did Martina Skitter, Janis Ekstein and Jack Pelzer. That took us all the way to the top 4, but the guys running in the top 3 on the road and in the championship. Bernard Blicknote takes a 3 spot on the day with 2 laps under his belt. Blake Kruger, the man that's trying to nail down his championship this season in 2025, he got a number 2 spot. That's going to help his confidence. But Milan Roux was all out, swinging off the front. Only 50 to go 3 laps and take a big win. Climbing the ladder up into the Pro 65s, where we're starting to see a championship form in the top 5 riders. Ulrich Sturley was a number 7 on the day with Lincoln Deister, certainly putting in the off-season training. The Deisters have come in full commitment in the 2025 tour. Alexander Nemeth, such a strong start to his 2025 campaign. Some problems out in the mud today, dropping him down to a number 5. Seb Nell, he's starting to look tasty as well. Sweet spot set up on his machine as he takes a number 4. Got 5 laps under his belt. The whole shot kid, Kellen Van Deventer, 5 laps for him as well. 3rd place, he'll have been looking for a little bit more than that. But it was Rogan Matthews taking a number 2 step this time around. Starting to see Matthews making a name for himself on the 65cc Pro Tour. And then the big swinger. And we know where this was coming from. Caught up with this kid a couple of weeks back at the KZN Regionals. Wickman knows how to get the best out of himself. And here's Yami in these conditions. He walks away with the Pro 65 win. One of the most combative categories out there in the morning session, the Junior 85s. Julian Vanderberg takes a number 8. Dylan Baldock a number 7. But all these riders were extremely close. No one separated by more than 2 minutes. Arman Buerta gets the job done, gets himself up into a number 6. Riding out of Gravity Racing, then Retief Swat gets the cheese going up the road into a number 5 with Declan Richards trying to find his form once again in 2025. Wasn't a bad run for the Vans Racing Husqvarna rider. He'll have been relatively happy with a number 4 finish this time around. Lawrence Erasmus, another one of those kids that's starting to get himself up into the top 4 more often than not, and that's going to see him improve in his championship challenge. And then the whole shot kid, the machine gun, Jean-Luc van der Westhuizen on the lead lap, takes the number 2 spots and only missed out on the win by just around 40 seconds. So this is going to be a big battle to watch out for. At the moment, it's Juan Agostini who is all dominant on the Junior 85s as he takes the win once again at round number 3. And then the big swingers, the Senior 85s, they went out of the gate nice and early. They threw down the big laps. Tamaka Marahi in a number 8. Kenyeni Masito into a number 7. We're starting to see these Lesotho Development F&B riders come real strong on the tour. Nico Melatsani, peakless as always. He'll have been missing that peak in some of the Roux sections as he got a number 6 ride. And then the Iron Woman of GXCC Racing, Tuane Tienpont. Not the win that she was looking for like she did at round number 2, but 5th place still keeps her in the hunt. Jay Eels, after a full rebuild on the engine, gets the Savvy Brokers Yami up to a number 4. Pierre Kutsia, not at full fitness at this round, drops down to a number 3. Ruoth Potkita on the Everest Wealth Racing Yami gets the 2 spots, and I think he found his groove. He was very, very close to the win this time around, just missing out by just over a minute. But as Takeng Marahi, he's been promising this for a long time, and the 107 gets the whole shot, saw clear air, and takes his first big GXCC win.
Takang, this win has been a long time coming. You've got seconds, you've got thirds, you've got 5th. This is the first win. What does this mean to you?
It means a lot. My team was so happy for me because I got the whole shot the first time. Then I was opening a gap. Then people just went on the wrong track. Then the second time I got the whole shot, but then I overshot a corner, and GJ, Uli, and TNA passed me. Yeah.
Tell me about the conditions out there, because I know that Radium is one of the hardest tracks out there.
so many corners. But then it was nice. In the track, I ran over a warthog's leg. They were running, they were crossing the road. Then I ran it over. But then it was cornery and muddy, yeah.
And what about the championship? Because we're almost at the halfway marker and you've got to be looking inside the top 3 at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to need to get podiums because I'm not on the top in the championship. I missed my 2 races were not that good.
Great result there, and we're going to see him springboard now up in the championship order. Marahi takes his big win of the season ahead of Potkita. Junior 85s, this is the championship challenge and the fight on the page. Agostini versus Van der Westhuizen. 65 pros, Wickman on the top step, and he is also going to be moving up in the championship order as he beats out on Matthews, and then Milan Roux, Kruger and Blicknote. That is the battle for the championship challenge in the 50s. Let's go and check in with V to talk about the track for the quads.
In the afternoon session, it's going to be all about the bikes as well. But let's talk about the quad loop in the morning because the quads are going to go out on the big one, and it is a big one, eh?
Yeah, again, because we had to move the pits, the way that we had to link everything to come back and out of the pits, we had to add a section. So we were going to be at 50.5 or something. Now we're at 52.8. So we had to lengthen it. Guys will have to make sure that their tanks are full, especially the 2 strokes. But again, it's starting off going through a few wet puddles and patches into the thick sand, which is close on 15 kilometers of thick sand. It's relatively smooth at the moment, a very short section that's hooped out, but throughout the day it's going to start breaking up and forming some braking bumps and hoops. Then they work their way around to the other side of the farm where they're going to get more hard pack, that red hard soil and grasslands. A little bit slippery in the morning, but I think once the first bikes have gone through, they'll start breaking up and then they're actually going to have a lot of traction out there.
So the quaddies would be the first to take on the challenge that is the biggest GXCC lap of the day, as the wildlife was out there waiting to go hunting. 52.8 kilometers of tough, challenging racing action. Just the one lady quad this time around. So a lot of the quad ladies missing in action. Danielle Esterhuizen for the Megs Racing squad gets the job done and brings home her finish. With the quad veterans, Tony DeSantos, he had to bow out after just 1 lap under his belt. Mechanical issues for Big Tony. That meant the stock standard Darren Moyle was in the 3 spot. The whole shotter on the 4x4. Sears Blicknote definitely for the challengers better in the mud pits, but on the high speed sections, there was one man better, smoother and more dialed in on the course. For 52.8 kilometers for QCon EMD Racing, Darby DeVet gets another win going. He's looking great in this season's championship. For the Quad Masters, Bernardo Fibas, also a bit of a curse, had some mechanical issues, got a little bit too much of the roost into the airbox. He had to park his machine after lap number 1. Karamba Jabi got himself up into number 4 spot. He is looking very solid and consistent, bringing home race finishes every single round. Steph Bester, the whole shotter, dropping down to a number 3 ride and losing out to the tune of 3 minutes to Roxy DeSantos. The DeSanti, for some reason, really came to life in the 2025 season, and in particular are enjoying the mud master terrain that we've been racing on at the first 3 rounds of the championship. It was his brother Fernando DeSantos, though, that bested him, taking 5 minutes out of his brother to walk away with the big number 1. Up the road then into the open categories, just 2 finishes. JJ Batenbach unfortunately bowing out of this one. The whole shotter Rian Dick on the QCon EMD racing machine got his big Raptor up to a number 2 spot, but he did lose out by 8 minutes to Tinas Kutzer. Kutzer suffered a number of punches, but was still good enough, strong enough, and dialed in on the big Honda for Megs Racing to get the win in the Q2s. And he also walked away with the big overall. In the Q1s, Tion Wolfart got the whole shot, but his day ended early in lap number 2, so he was out of it. Apollo DeSantos got 2 laps under his belt. He was joined on the 2 club by Ruan Miller for Megs Racing. Also issues for Miller after only getting 2 laps under his belt, but because of the high attrition rate, he was still able to bring home a number 4 ride. His teammate and stablemate, Ruan Kutzer, got the job done in 3rd place, but clearly he had issues out there on the course, losing almost 25 minutes to the back wheel of Sean Kutzer. who looked like at one point he was going to be able to walk away with the Q1 win. This time around, he had to settle for second place once again, losing out off the back wheel of Francois Smallberger Sr. Smallberger, fast, consistent, and even though he was battling with a misfire on the bike, he was able to tough it out and manage the race correctly to take yet another win and extend in the Q1 championship.
Francois, I think Radium and these conditions, experience definitely played your way.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that wet. It's only patches that's really that's deep and so on. But yeah, but it was really a good track, really. Some of the old section, the whoopie section at the back, and then new sections, but it keeps you busy. It's really, but it's a nice track. But yeah, I actually thought, because I had a problem with the quad this morning, technical problem, but seems like we sorted it out, and I thought maybe this is going to be a throwaway, but I guess we made it, and I think I won. So yeah, still leading the championship. Yeah.
Tinus, I don't think Omo is going to sort that out, brother.
No, definitely not. It started getting a bit muddy, more muddier than the start. But yeah, it was good. I think with the selection I had on the bike today, especially with the tires, it worked well. Going through sand and the mud. Some of the water, like Vian was saying, started coming up. But it's fun. It was fun. It wasn't too much like jet ski racing, but I really enjoyed it.
But where it wasn't muddy, it was actually quite lacquer. You said the sand started to break through the grass.
Yeah, definitely. So there were all the cut areas with all nice grass in the start. It's not there anymore. It's just roots sticking out now. It's hard on the arms, hard on the hands. So yeah, I think the two-wheeler guys are going to have fun out there.
Great feedback from our quaddies, toughing it out in these gnarly conditions in 2025. Smallberger, another win ahead of Kutzer and Kutzer. For the Q2s, just 2 finishes, but Tinus Kutzer is the main man ahead of Dick. And in the Masters, Fernando and Roxy, the Desanti, dominating that gate at the moment. Quad veterans, Davy de Vet for the QCon EMD Racing Squad beats out on Blicknote, and Esther Hazen takes the ladies' gate. As always, before we go into the afternoon session that made up the big wheelers on the motorbike categories, let's chat to our good friends at VW Mastercars Hatfield.
Hey guys, people often ask me, Ben, how do you save 30,000 Rand from your own salary? Well, I don't know, and my name is not Ben. But what I can tell you is we are able to save you up to 30,000 Rand on all our Mastercars vehicles. Hurry up and come through.
Thanks once again for our good friends out at VW Mastercars Hatfield. Now for the afternoon event, let's go down to the pits and get some reactions. We start things off with the injury list.
Ty, I hate to say this, but man, oh man, what's your story?
Unfortunately, Monday we had a small mishap training and went down, broke my wrist and tore my AC joints off. I've had surgery to fix it, but yeah, unfortunately we won't be racing for a while. It's really disappointing. It was a great year going, but I'm doing everything I can to get back on my Yamaha. The bike's amazing, and hopefully I get a few more races in this year.
Ken Carl, you like him tough. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's good to be back again. It's another muddy one. I don't know when that's going to stop. I even went through to Lesotho a few weeks ago, and that was muddy as well. So it looks like whatever we do this year is going to be muddy, and but yeah, we're good. Yeah, for the fun again. Radium tests us. We've got that tricky section that challenges us, but yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. Thanks to Mastercars, Big Chris, the wife, the kid, the family. We're back, and yeah, let's have a safe one. And yeah, we just thank the Lord that we're here and that He'll bring us safe back to the finish line.
Zans, welcome to Radium, and congratulations on the wedding. This is one heck of a honeymoon, eh?
Yes. No, I must say this is going to be a proper one. I must say we actually got married on the farm just right next to us, so it's actually quite funny. But yeah, we should have actually stayed for the week. But yeah, leaving on honeymoon tomorrow.
Tell me about the setup coming into Radium. Obviously, not too much setup on this bike for you this year. You seem to be learning at every track.
Yeah, I must say the four-stroke's been a learning curve each race. Yeah, getting used to the bike. Each race is a bit different, bit new, but learning and adapting quite easily, quite quickly. So I must say, very happy with the setup. Not changing anything for this race. Yeah, I'm happy with the setup overall. So we just gonna gun it as it is.
You really figured something out at the last race, eh? You had a big grin on your face.
I must say I was quite surprised. I actually thought we came in third, but yeah, seeing the results and in second was quite a confidence boost. I must say, quite comfortable on the bike, feeling good for the race. So yeah, hopefully with Lady Luck on our side again, we can pull something out there today.
Brother, the high school 125 gate has been banger in 2025. Tell me about the season so far for you.
It's been going well. Had a couple of problems on the first race, but ended up coming out on the top.
Now, what about the preparation coming into Radium? Because all your team would have told you how whooped out and choppy this race is.
Yeah, well, got my goggles ready. Just gonna give it a shot and hope for the best.
Dill, you seem to have come to life this season. What's made the difference in your riding style in 2025?
Just a lot of training with my personal trainer, Stefan Torius, and hard work, putting in the effort.
Tell me about the setup with the team, because it looks like Megs has gone huge this year.
Yeah, we're trying to get some of the better riders to boost the team, training hard, everybody is good family together, yeah.
Tell me how you're feeling coming into Radium, because we know this is a tough one.
Yeah, stressing, but I think I'm fit enough and fast enough, but we will see. Hopefully the bike holds.
Big Drickus, dude, this is really going to be a race for you because you're going to be tough for this one.
Yeah, I really have to show my skills this race. I have to catch up on points. I think I'm like third in the championship now. Hopefully I can catch up, but yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one.
Tell me about the setup coming into Radium. We know this is a specific setup on the bike for this event.
Yeah, I put a bit bigger gearing on the back for lower top speed but more torque. Yeah, I love this terrain. I like this terrain. I train on it a lot. Yeah.
Tell me about the setup in the team as well. We've seen Megs coming on strong. Tell me about the dynamic in the team.
Yeah, the Megs team has been growing a couple of years. On the big bikes, it's me, Dylan, and Gabby. On the quads, we have a couple of guys. But yeah, big thanks to them. They really do a lot for me in the pits. They're quickly through me. And the guys at Schimmels for the mechanical work on the bike. They really do a good job.
Franco, amazing comeback season. Tell me about how 25 has gone so far.
Ja, nee, dit is ver goed gegaan. Ja, laas jaar my skouer injury was dit my baie teruggesit, maar ek is ver baie fitness oefeninge gedoen of season training of die baie elke dag geoefen also. Ek dink ek is reg vir vandag. Die laaste paar races was baie modder. Ja, maar vandag gaan lekker wees. Ek wou sê trek 'n speak. So
the terrain out here in Radium, very similar to Freiburg as well, so you've got a good sand setup on the wagon.
Ja, nee, definitely. Obviously, everyone knows there's a lot of sand. Daar's baie sand daar, maar dit is lekker. Ek is gewoond aan die sand al, so dit gaan lekker wees.
Dude, when we chatted at the end of the last race, you were absolutely fish-faced. This is going to be a hard day today as well, eh?
Yeah, I know. We checked the route, the road coming into the pits, and yeah, we know what's laying ahead. We're not going to lead around the bush today. So yeah, just gonna take it easy. I haven't recovered fully yet from the previous race. The injury was a bit more than what we thought it would be. So yeah, just want to keep it safe. Just see what points we can gather, and yeah, hopefully we can have a lekker day out there.
All those years of experience, we've been coming to Radium for something like 10 seasons now. There is a trick to this place, isn't it? You've got to ride loose.
Yeah, no, this is a very special race for all of us. A lot of history, a lot of battles lost in 1 year. So yeah, but with the young guys, as soon as the flag drops, we just as mad as them. So yeah, we'll just take it cool, just see what the first lap holds, and then we'll take it from there. Either push or just keep the pace up and see where we end.
Johnny B, how's this big dog going to be on one of the hardest tracks of the season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a handful. Looking forward to it though. I think there's been a lot of rain, but I think that's going to help the track, and it's going to be loamy, so something to look forward to, and yeah, it's going to be a good day.
All these years coming to Radium, do you change your setup? Because we know it just beats you up.
Yeah, I do have one or two tricks up my sleeve for Radium, and I enjoy this track, and we'll just see how it goes.
Devastator, last time you were out here, you weren't on the big dog. This thing's going to rip your arms off at Radium.
Yeah, I see. I'm not so used to on the 450, so I'm still getting used to it. But yeah, I think I'm better this race, so let's see. And I see the quads as well. Coming in, it's very, very muddy out there, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
What's your approach coming into Radium? Because we always know this is one of the toughest events of the season.
Yeah, Radium is a tough one, but I heard it's a lucky track, so let's see.
Scotty H back to Radium, and a very different looking Radium this time of year as well. I don't think we're going to see dust for like 3 months now.
Yeah, no, I don't know where all this rain has come from, but I think it's a blessing for the farmers, and I hope that they can utilize it to the best. I know it's challenging with their equipment and stuff, but overall, I believe the rain was definitely needed, so it's a blessing. Even though we have to ride in a bit of mud, I think it's really cool. And yeah, it's something completely different. We haven't had any mud races for a couple of years, and to actually come out here in the last 5 rounds have been complete mudders. I think it's pretty cool, to be honest. And yeah, the GXCC guys always put on awesome tracks, and yeah, I can't wait to get out there. I know this place is quite sandy, so I think we're in for a treat, and I think there's going to be a lot of traction out there.
Straight to the gates, and the bikes will have checked on how the quads were running, and the sun did come up in the afternoon as well, so we knew that the flatland sections were going to be a little bit drier and offer some more hook, and the quads will have opened up the track absolutely perfectly. First gates, we're going to be the pros, starting out with a big banger, OR1s. Huge pull off the gate, and his first hole shot of the 2025 season goes to the rockstar, Bjorn Wenzel on the Cower, and the Devastator in the 2 spot. Scotty was down into number 3. Matty Wilson pulled the big one on the OR2s with Ruben Peters getting it done, and Very's Nordia in 3rd place. Good gates out of our pros. Kobus Bester got the cheese with points leader Cam Becker on his wheel. For the seniors, Marco Cocci missing in action, so a change of pace. Yanni Potkiera would get the big hole shot with Carl de Toy and Sean Vardenhorst on his wheel. And for the Masters, the Viking swinging his axe once again, Kobus Jonk, Warwick van Skalkbeek, and Francois Swanepoel. For the high schools, Mullet Man, Liam Skipper's got his first hole shot of the season on a new machine, stepping onto the Yami for this round, and then into the OR4s, Ben van Skalkbeek and Jake the Snake. That's going to be the championship we'll keep an eye on in the OR4s. For the veterans category, great to see Conrad Edwards getting out there on the big Yami to see what he could get done. Then back onto the gates into the Pro-Am category races. Francois Smallberger Jr. looking to rebound after a problem at round number 2. He was in good spirits though this time around, going second out of the gates. OR2 Pro-Ams, Nathan Godrich this season in his comeback tour after a couple of years of injuries, wheeled out the smoker and got the hole shot. In the OR3 Pro-Ams, Jason Leslie absolutely dominating off the gate, showing his hole shot prowess. And in the senior Pro-Ams, it was Richard Hine, the championship points leader, big Chris Homser and Gerard Foster sweeping around the outside to lead out of the queue. And in the ladies, Twane Tiempon on Yami, Bianca Edwards on Husky. That is the battle. Let's chat about the track to Vian.
For the afternoon session, the bikes are going to have an absolutely awesome time out there because the quads will have opened things up. A couple of whoops that weren't there before will be there, but I think the bikes are going to lay down some big laps today.
Sure. Yeah, Matt, I don't think anybody is going to be able to do 5 laps today. I think it's going to be a 4-lapper. Quads will definitely splash a bit of the water puddles out of the way, break up the soil a little bit, and then make for great traction for the two-wheelers in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything that the two-wheelers would be concerned about from getting stuck. I can't wait to see the top guys hit that tabletop that was freshly manicured. I can't thank Alan enough for all his hard work. When I needed something, he just pulled out the big guns, big bulldozers, and he helped me to fix things and manicure that tabletop. It's fantastic. All the hard work that he's put in and helped us, I can't thank him enough.
Let's head out on the course and see how the ladies got on. We'll start things out with the ladies and our Pro-Am categories. So many of the ladies battled out there on the course. So many riders only getting 1 lap under their belt. Jan Smuir, Janke van der Berg and Bianca Prout-Jones, even with her skills, couldn't get herself onto a 2-lapper. Gabby Fotheringham got a number 3 spot. Twane Tiempont, who led until the final mud section, had to settle for 2nd place once again, as Bianca Edwards now goes 2 for 2, taking the wins at rounds 2 and 3 to lead in the championship. But Twane, as Bianca will admit, is on her heels. In the OR4 category, Alexander Dillman, no points, no lap for him. Compon, also just 1 lap in his back pocket. Bryson Dester in 4th, and Chris Homser Jr. really enjoyed his time out there. He was on the lead lap, gets 3rd place and moves up into 3rd on championship points. Ben van Skalkbeek got the hole shot. and he stayed on point as well. Jake the Snake was off the front and took yet another win, but it's starting to come down, that deficit. Right now though, Jake the Snake on point to run away with this championship. Senior Pro-Ams, Hendrik Buerter, Ryan Smith, and more importantly, Gerard Foster with just one lap under his belt. Foster, the championship points leader. He had big issues out here at Radium. Abraham Kurabali into a number 5. That sees him move up on championship points. And the big championship runners, Dean Woodrup, Pelzer, Harmser, and Hein, with the big swingers once again on the lead lap, taking 3 laps in their back pocket. Woodrup was out there for 3 hours 30, showing how tough the conditions got in the afternoon session. Peter Pelzer up the road from him. Those two were separated for the dice for 3rd place by a 5-lapper. And then Chris Harmser, just a little bit better than the rest of those guys. Harmser's finding his groove out there as we get more used to the mud, and Chris likes the tough conditions out here in the sandpit of Radium. Big Chris Harmser Sr., 2nd place, and not too far off the win as well. He's closing things down, just outside of 5 minutes off the back wheel of championship points leader Richard Hein. Hein once again in sublime form out here as he extends in his championship hunt. OR1 ProAms, big swingers this time around as well, and great riders coming in off the gate. Gordon Scooby in a number 8, 2 laps for him. Jaden Boyce, he'll have been hoping for more than that, just 2 laps for him as well, as he had issues on his machine and had to park it early. 7th place ride for him. Record Webster making moves in the championship as well, starting to understand how to figure out the GXCCs. Leonard van der Berg, he's been on the tour a couple of seasons now. Tell you what, at Radium we did stay away from the big whoopy sandpits as well. The issue this season was 1 or 2 mud bogs, but on the whole, it was a relatively solid run and great laid out track. Love the sand sections. Virgin terrain as well. So whoops will be there next year, but not this year. Vanderberg was number 5. Jason Leslie with the whole shot dropped down to a number 4. Brendan de Bruin to a number 3. Hansie Vanderberg was taking a number 2 spot. Lost out by 4 minutes, eventually to the back wheel of Janko Vanniekerk. Vanniekerk, 3 laps and a dominant win in category. You'll be stoked on that. OR1 ProAms giving us slightly smaller numbers. Nathan Goddish off the big hole shot had to park his machine after lap number 2. 1 or 2 small mistakes for him as well, and he did find those braking bumps. The 1 or 2 caught him out. Mark Stratham, 2 laps for him. He'll be happy with a number 6 count. That put him up onto the box with Jean-Ray van der Merwe into a number 5. And then you started to see some big gaps happening as well. Up the road to Leslie. Something like 20 minutes was the gap. So there's a huge gap between the top 4 and the rest of the chasing pack on this gate. Dwayne Leslie on the C26, 4th place for him. And then another 12 minutes up the road was the man that's trying to nail down the championship. Ruben Stratham on the C2 did find enough traction to get on the back wheel as always. We never had a doubt. Ruby, 3rd place for him, but he is battling in the championship with Jaco Nordia. Nordia at the moment, solid as he likes to be, but he'd have liked to take the win. This time around, we crown a new winner in the OR1 ProAms. All the way from KZN, Timmy Black breaks the duck and gets his first big win. OR1 ProAms, the big dogs. Nathan Minnie, not 100% fully fit, says he's running around about 70% at the moment. Happy to just get 2 laps under his belt, make sure the shoulder and the chicken wing is running good. He'll be relatively happy with a number 8 ride. Stefan Labuskakny battled with the conditions out there. The VW Mastercars Hatfield squad taking a number 7 ride with Kenneth Clements banging in a number 6. 2 laps under his belt, and then a whole ton of Hondas. Brits just down the road, well, hour and a half down the road, but you know what I mean. The Hondas were looking good in the hands of Graham Engelbrecht and Damian Breitenbach. Sandpit riders, obviously comfortable with the style of terrain. The Brits Honda boys were looking tasty. Up the road though, running inside of the top 3 are the guys that are running inside the top 3 for the championship. Xander Myberg getting the numbers going up there. Himself and Ben Vessels were all over each other in the early laps. First time over the tabletop, they were glued together. Francois Smallberger did rebound from his problems at round number 2 to get himself into 2nd place. That's going to improve his chances of a championship. But once again, Ben Vessels in the OR1 ProAm Big Bangers took the flag, and he is the man.
Be another big race, another big battle with Twane. Tell me about your day.
Yeah, she made me push hard. I mean, if she didn't get stuck like just there, she would have beat me. But it was a muddy one, and but it wasn't my favorite race. It was fun in the turns, and then you get the mud, and then you just stick. And the trees, there's holes and blood. It's sore.
Another dirty smile from Bianca. Here's confirmation then of the ladies in the Pro-Am Gates Vessels. Takes the win in the OR1 Big Bangers ahead of Smallburger. Timmy Black breaks his duck and takes his first ever GXCC OR2 Pro-Am win ahead of Nordea and Stratum. They're fighting for the championship. OR3 Pro-Ams. Vanny Kirk, Vanderberg and De Bruyn with Leslie. Bit of a standout ride for him. Senior Pro-Ams. Chris Holmes, Senior, steps up to a number 2 spot and is chasing down on yet another win. Coming in from Hein. OR4's Jake the Snake takes yet another win, but Van Skalkvik is there, biting at his heels, just ahead of Chris Holmes Jr. Bianca Edwards gets the win, but Twane Tiempont is aching for it. Second place for her once again this time. Let's go out there on the course and climb the ladders in the age group gates. Start things out with our veterans. Mark Nell, 1 lap under his belt, having to park it early on in the race, and a surprise retirement coming in for the Pepsi Plastics Kawasaki. The multiple veterans champion Jeff Den also parked it after just 2 laps. So it was starting to become a war of attrition in the afternoon sessions. Johan Fourie got a number 5. He'll be pretty happy with that one. And then for VW Mastercard's Hatfield, Dick Bessinger found his sweet spot setup. He's been working on his suspension, and he's gonna be dialed in now with a number 4. Conrad Edwards gated in the number 2 spot, able to finish in a number 3 on Bianca's old 4-stroke Yami 250. Jeremy Smith on the 2-stroker. Didn't think this was a 2-stroke 250 track, but somehow Jeremy Smith swung off the back of that thing and got the job done. But Lars Brandlin hammered the nail once again for Alfie Cox Racing, taking yet another win. For the Masters category, Jason Fraser, 2 laps for him, as well as Jake Smoor and Bert Smith. Great to have Bert Smith locking back in on the tour with us. He was in good company out there, but only 2 laps for the triple treat of Fraser, Muir and Smith. The guys that stayed on the lead lap, that meant in the Masters category they were out there for 3 laps of racing, most of them going just over the 3-hour marker. Stephen Kutzer taking a number 5 with Francois Swanepoel. Captain Consistency on the Roost Racing KTM. Number 4. That's why we call him Captain Consistent. He is always up there inside of the top 6 or even higher. Conrad Sieber takes his privately entered Honda all the way to a number 3 ride. That's his best ride of the season, with JJ Rousseau taking a number 2 spot. But it was Warwick Van Skalkvik who hammered the nail. He's had a couple of off seasons with injuries. The Everest Wealth Racing Yamaha rider and the most stylish on his category over the tabletops gets back on point and takes the win. In the seniors, we caught up with King Carl DeToy in the morning session. He had some problems out there on the day, had to park it on lap number 3. Only 2 laps scored for him. Fergie McAdam, riding out of the Bikers Warehouse Husky squad, stayed on the lead lap, but really battled in the conditions, only able to get a number 5 ride. Sean Bodenhorst has had a tough start to the season in the Linux Yamaha Blue Crew Yamaha Racing Squad. 4th place shows that he's on the come up, with Henny Blicknot in 3rd, and Yanni Potkita starting to show signs of his former brilliance, coming back from big injuries and now looking tasty. 2 spot gives him his best ride of the season. John Vulcan was good enough to roll off on the final lap as he had a 10-minute buffer. He now goes 3 for 3, the only rider on the GXCC Tour to go undefeated on the season thus far. Willem Bertha took a number 7 spot just ahead of Hanny de Kock in the high school 125s. Drickus van der Merwe for Megs Racing on the Shimwells Racing Yami. 6th place was the best that he could do on the day as he was fighting against some of the smaller kids out there. Remember, Drickus over 90 kilograms. The rest of these guys at least 10 Ks off his back wheel. Jean-Dre for Mark. Great run of form so far this season. Franco Ferri also starting to find his groove on the UB Leisure Racing 125, running that awesome Olin suspension. That would have helped him out big time. Dylan Besaidnote, we caught up with him in the morning session as well, and he's delivered his best ride of the season. Number 3 spot for the Megs Racing squad. But it was the 2 Everest Wealth Racing Yamahas that were dicing it out for the big wins. Eventually separated by just under 2.5 minutes this time around. Murray Smith had to take the 2-step because Tyler Pedersen came on strong here at Radium.
Brother, I'm so glad I caught up with you this morning, and I knew this was going to be a track that suited you. Take me through the day.
Well, when I was leading into the race, I heard that there would be lots of sand and rollers, which is where I'm really good at. So I basically did as well as I can, executed perfectly, and came out on top.
The track was a wild one, hey? I mean, it pretty much had everything. I know you had your favorite bits, but I know you had your bad bits as well.
Yeah, especially on the mud. There were a couple bad sections. Fell over a couple times on there. Got my gloves muddy, all that kind of stuff, but that's racing, you know.
Warwick, it's been too long since we chatted, brother. Good day at the office.
Yeah, for a change, Matt, in the wet weather we've been having, this was one of the much better wet weather races we've had. I did enjoy it. 3/4 of the race, and just there's now and again just too much water. But it's part of off-road racing, so I'm glad the Yummy got me through. Dunlop tyres, the Yummy. The bike's going well. It's really performing well, and it's about time that I get on back on the podium here.
Just chat me about the injuries last year and early part of this season. You were fish-based. You're looking pretty strong now.
Yeah, Matt, actually, I've had a lot of injuries. In 2023, I broke my femur, 2 places, got a steel pen in. The whole year didn't race. Last year, I had a neck operation in between nationals, so I could finish the nationals. And so we got a shoulder injury that I broke at the first GXCC. But they're getting better. I'm riding them better.
Let's confirm those results then. Our age group races. Pedersen on form at the moment, ahead of his teammate Smith. The same note, and Farid doing the chase downs. For the seniors, undefeated at the moment. John Vulcan leads out Potgieter and Blicknote at round number 3. For the Masters, a return to form for Van Skalkwyk, ahead of Rousseau, Sieber and Swanepoel. And in our veterans category, Lars Brandlin put in the hurt on the smoker. The Yummy of Smith, then Edwards and Bessinger. What's next? It's the pro category races, the guys that ripped the fastest laps in the afternoon session. To start things out with the OR3's Cam Becker, points leader, bows out after 2 laps with a suspected blown knee, so we may not see him at round number 4. We're all holding our breath and hoping the Kawasaki kid can come back. Estienne Kotzer then moved himself up to number 5. He's been in the top 6 the whole way through the season, his best season so far. Comeback trail for Nardis Robbie, getting himself back on point, and he'll be happy with number 4 ride. And then the old dog, Bernard Delport, a senior rider by trade, getting roped in by his team, Everest Wealth Yamaha, putting him on Tyron Beverly's bike, and he walked away at the number 3 spot. Bryce Pedersen, change of flavour from a blue to an orange between rounds 2 and 3, and gets one of his best rides to get a number 2 spot going. But it was Kurbis Bester, the man that has walked away with a big overall so far this season, showed his form once again to run off the front, take the win, and extend in the championship. OR2 Pro category, Vernon Nordier, he had a great gate coming out of the queue into a number 3, eventually dropping down on the race, bowing out with 2 laps in his back pocket to a number 8 ride. Stoffelberger, in his first full pro season, still solid and consistent, getting a number 7 ride. The return to GXCC racing since his junior days. We haven't seen him for something like 5 seasons. Keegan O'Hara back with us on a number 6. Benru Stradum, the man that's battling for a championship, had his bogey event this season at round number 3, dropping all the way down to a number 5. Low finish by his high standards. CD Gerson improves outside of the top 6 last time around, up into a number 4. Xander King proves round 2 wasn't a fluke. 2nd place there, 3rd place here. Should see him take over 2nd place in the championship on the Linex Blue Crew Racing Yamaha. Ruben Peters, his best GXCC to date. Certainly starting to understand how to get the best out of himself and his wagon. 2nd spot. But it was all about Matty Wilson, who ran the numbers, narrowly missing out on taking the overall on the day, but takes yet another win in the OR2 Pros. The Rooster was up there, makes the show into a number 7. Brennan Kotzer was behind him, had to bow out after 1 lap. The Rooster though, 7th place ride. Devastator after a great gate, dropped down to a number 6, suffering with fatigue towards the end of that race. Ruan Merry, the older Merry brother, likes to see him running inside the top 5 once again. 4 laps, and he stayed on the lead lap and was in good shape. Flying under the radar somewhat in the 2025 championship, Pepsi Plastic Kawasaki's JC Nienaber also kept his nose very clean with a number 4 ride in the pro gate. His teammate, and it was 2 Kawasaki's formation flying. Björn Wenzel takes a number 3 spot. He's looking great in this season's championship. And then Eric Merry finally figures out how to get the best out of himself and the 450 Bikers Warehouse Husqvarna package. 2nd place, his best ride to date. But it was Scotty H, Scott Haygate, just unstoppable at the moment in 2025. More than 12 minutes was his advantage as he goes on a burner and takes yet another win out here at round number 3. He sees the checkers.
Scotty running off the front the whole way through the day, and a well-managed race, I think.
Yeah, after being quite sick with the flu recently, I wasn't actually sure I was going to fly back from Zambia, but came through and yeah, just had a good day out, had fun. It's tough to just lead out when there's no one really around you. It's a pity like Davin is off and Maddie's out at the moment, so it wasn't just a bit of a weird day to find a flow and rhythm of a high pace being at the front, but overall I'm really chuffed with the day. Quite a lot of mud out there, but yeah, it was really cool. I did stop for a guy, X28. He crashed pretty bad in front of me, so I stopped until he was like up on his feet again. So lost a bit of time there, but ultimately, you know, a guy's health is far more important than a race win or whatever it may be. So yeah, really cool, and yeah, just really chuffed to be done with another GXCC and another class win.
I know you guys are roosted to pieces, but generally it actually was a dry track. There was just a couple of snotty sections.
Yeah, for 90% of the track was actually really nice and loamy and dry. No dust at all. But the last mud, oh my word, the rut's there now. I don't know where to go on this last lap, but at least I figured it out and got through there.
Tell me the story of lap number 1, because pretty much that's where you did the damage.
Oh, lap 1, I just wanted to get into my groove, had a bit of arm pump. But once I started picking off the 450s, then yeah, I knew I was in for a good day. So just carried on, got more comfortable from there on throughout the day, and just, yeah, happy with my riding.
Cobus, not the overall you wanted this time, but a hell of a lot of points in the bag.
Yeah, no, I got a good start. Unfortunately, about a few kilometers in, Cameron came past, and I thought that was the end of it. Luckily, after lap 1, I caught him in the sand again, and from there on, I just kept it smooth till the end.
Give the breakdown of the track. Did she hold up? It looks like it got a little bit messy at the end.
I know you said it wasn't a mudder, but I don't think you were right. It was muddy at the end. I don't think the only part that wasn't wet was the sand.
Brycey, sum up your day, because that was some of the best riding we've seen out of you this season.
Well, the track in the beginning, it was really smooth flowing. The quad left some nice lines, but towards the end of the race, yes, it really got demanding. You had to stand a lot, hop, flow, just keep your rhythm, and yeah, so far so good.
The legend of Radium lived up to itself, because we know this is always the toughest race of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Currently my hands are very sore, my bum's very sore. So yeah, I think it's time to recover, and let's hope for the best in the next race.
Faye, always great to have you back on the bike. Last minute .comming it, and podium out of nowhere, bro.
Yes, see, what a week. I got a call on Wednesday from team boss Harry, and he asked me, how fit are you? I said, oh, well, I'll probably do jog a 10K, you know, I'll be fine with a 10K. He said, now I've entered you, you're racing. So yeah, well, congrats to the team. I mean, it's good to be back, old faces, new faces, and obviously all the family at the races. Today was tough. Some of the ruts were pretty deep, and I see there's some bikes and bodies everywhere. So, but I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Tell me about the sled as well. Obviously, it's a loaner. It's a Ty's old bike, 250. That's a little bike for you, man.
Yeah, well, it's actually the first time I've ever raced a 250. Yes, you know, for sure. Yeah.
I'm sure you had to smoke it.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously, hope Tyron heals up quick, because I don't know if I can keep this up, you know. But he knows how to set up a bike. I mean, I literally got on it and we raced today. And he's a professional. He knows what he does.
Everyone always wants to just survive Radium. Some do better than others though. Haygate confirms his win in the Pro 1 gate ahead of Merry and Wenzel. OR2 pros, Wilson, just unstoppable on that gate at the moment. But it's Peters, King and Huison that are coming on in the OR3 pros. Bester continues to run off the front in his championship challenge ahead of Pedersen and Dalport. So that was GXCC round number 3, the classic race venue of Radium. We've got a little bit of a gap in the calendar. No GXCC swinging off the back in the racing month of May. We rejoin to pick up on round number 4 in June. Hold your breath for the announcement of the venue. We'll see you out there on the gate as always. All this GXCC racing action is proudly brought to you by VW Mastercars Hatfield in association with Vans Racing. So now we're starting to understand what the championship looks like at the GXCCs. Remember, they've got a big 8-round championship, so still 5 huge rounds to go. While we're talking about rounds, a little bit of detail coming in from the FJ guys. They have moved out their date for round number 4. The reason for this is, and it's a really positive reason, they have found not 1, but 2 new venues to close out the season. So we're going to be moving the date for round number 4 for the Farm Jams. That's going to be at the end of June. So mark your calendars. Change of date for round number 4. It's not going to be in the racing month of May. We're moving it out into the end of June. That allows the boys up at Farm Jam to go out and put in extra work. It's going to give them a full 6 weeks of prep to get dialed in. So end of June, we're going out to Bronkhorstspruit Dam. Mark your calendars. Get it in there. No change of date. Round number 5 still stays the same. That's going to be at the end of August. That's also going to be a brand new venue. So it's a great way that we're going to be ending the racing season of the FJs. And then this weekend, I had no break. I just decided I'm going to go all in this year. Going to get as much riding, as much fun as I possibly can out on the plastic bikes and enjoy myself out with the beautiful people. So I got invited down to the latest round of the Iron Horse events. Taquani Forest, something that you don't get to ride unless an event is run in there. So an absolute pleasure to go and hang out with the beautiful people, and I had the absolute best time. Can't wait to get down there once again. But now we're rolling into the end of May. May is going to be a wild one for me. I'm going to be on a couple of massive tours. The car tours are coming back into play. We in South Africa are hosting the 3rd round of the W2 RCs. That's a World Rally Raid Championship. And I've been very blessed in my position as the host of the Rally Raid Tour in South Africa. I'm going to be hosting all of the podium ceremonies and hanging out with the big names racing in the cross-country cars, bikes, side-by-sides, and quads. So if you guys have got a gap, I think I'm up there from like the 16th or the 17th of May, all the way for a week, based at Sun City and racing out in the Northwest Province area. So super excited about that. But don't worry, straight after that, we get back on the bikes and we end off the racing month of May, and that's going to be up in Witbank. That's going to be the next round. That's the 3rd round of the Tough Super Enduro Cross Championship. They've already hosted 2 rounds, 1 round at Monty, 1 round at where were we? Down in Maritzburg, and now this one is going to be up in Witbank. So we should have a really good catchment. Plenty of stuff to come on Hollywood, guys.